Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is the Conjuring 2, a new spin on the old classic. With this version, we've stripped out the discard elements and focused on creature control, the factory outlet, and the terror. We've come prepared in case the opponent snipes our terrors. We've got ways of getting it back from the grave. We can even get their men from the grave if our plans for world domination with our Robot Overlords fall through. And as always, we've come with some staples of any synthesizer, including a new way to duplicate our men. Let's get in there. We're playing the full set of 3 steps ahead, the staple that gives us options. Out of the 3, we prefer to use it to make a copy of one of our artifacts, specifically a factory or the terror. Once we've got token copies, we can use the helm to make more copies. The counterspell option is also fantastic, as we can use it to stop the opponent from clearing out our board. And the dig option works for us as well. With it we can draw to help find one of our key cards. While it may be pricey, with enough mana we can use 2 modes or even all 3. Cryogenic Relic is a fantastic card for synthesizer decks, especially those looking to use the powers of Repurposing Bay to help dig up a factory. The card draw from the relic is amazing, plus we draw again when it gets sacrificed. We can use it to slow down an enemy and buy us some time while we work on setting up our board. And with a Repurposing Bay, the relic is the perfect card to sacrifice to get one of our 3 mana artifacts. The Terminus of Return is not just a ramp artifact, but later in the game we can harness the power of the Terminus to get our terror back from the grave. It is legendary, so extra copies are often dead cards in hand. But in this deck, we can turn extra copies into factories, thanks to Repurposing Bay. Repurposing Bay is a great way to turn our 2 mana artifacts into factories or even a helm. We can even go the extra step and turn a helm into a terror, or a Mirrormind Crown, a new card that could help our duplication efforts. The Synthesizer is our key card. While we don't necessarily need it to win, it still plays a key role in the deck. Once on board, the goal is to trigger it as often as possible to generate a team of Robot Overlords. The scry we get when it enters can help us find more ammo, or help us avoid drawing an excess number of lands. The helm is the perfect companion piece to the factory outlet. With it, we can build a pile of map tokens to boost the stats of our Robot Overlords, and we can activate the helm to make a token copy of any token artifact we control. That's the reason we're looking to make a token copy of a factory or a terror with 3 steps ahead. Making copies of a token synthesizer turn after turn is a great way to end the game. Aetherize is one of our defensive measures. When they send their men at us, we can fire it off to bounce all the attackers, and in some cases, we reset their board. It can buy us time or cripple them to the point where we can go on the offensive. Pactdoll Terror is a card we've used before to great effect, and we have it here as well. When it enters, it drains the opponent for a single point, and will do so again whenever another artifact enters play on our side. While a single point might not seem that amazing, once we get multiples of the terror in play, it can be a big drain on the opponent's life total, especially if we are generating Robot Overlords in multiples. Mirrormind Crown is a new card from Lorwyn that will give us a token copy of the equipped creature. While it might not seem so impressive, the aim is to equip a terror, and instead of generating Robot Overlords the first time we generate tokens, we'll be generating terrors. And that will likely end the game rather quickly. As an artifact, it will trigger any factories we have when we play it out. Villainous Wrath is our second defensive measure. While we may not need to fire it off, there are times we fall behind an opponent while we are busy setting up. In those cases, we can use the Wrath to slow down enemy assaults. As a bonus, we can use it to snipe a few life points from the opponent depending on how many men they have in play. It's this loss of life that gives the Wrath the edge over other ways of clearing the board. The Black Virtue is a powerful card. We can use it as removal early and later in the game. We can use it to get back men from any grave. It's a secondary way of getting terror back from our grave, as we expect it to attract removals day and night. And along the way, if we can get enemy men on our side to help bring down the opponent, well, that's an extra bonus. For lands, we're playing 4 Watery Grave, the Dimir Shock land, 4 Gloomlake Verge, the island that becomes a dual when we have an island or swamp in play. 7 Swamp. 2 Uthros, Titanic Godcore, the special land that gives us a blue mana for each artifact we control, but only after we station 12 power worth of men. And 7 Island. Playing the deck is rather simple. Our early turns are about getting any 2 mana artifacts in play and fending off any early enemies. We're often slower than opponents, so be ready to use any defensive measures. We win with either Robot Overlords or drains from a terror, or both. Whichever card we draw into, the goal is to try to generate as many tokens as possible. Copying key cards and replicating them is a path towards victory. But if those plans fall through, we can use a virtue to get back enemy men and use them against the opponent. That's the deck, boys. Let's go play some games.
Do you want to play a game?
This is Ixia. Sometimes you have to grab Ixia by the horns, if you know what I'm saying. We're kicking things off with a 3-lander that has double terror, an Aetherize, and a Terminus. The terrors are amazing, but on their own, I'm not so sure. I would have liked to see a factory to help our gain and drain plan. But we'll give this a shot. Keep your pants on. They play out a flash guy at sorcery speed. It is the best speed after all. The sailor is a dead pirate. He got too much booty while alive, and now is doomed to float through existence in search of more of that prized booty, the good stuff. They play out a Momo. That guy should have been first. The pirate comes in looking for more booty, but he's not scoring anything here. We draw a second Aetherize. When the time is right, those will stagger the opponent. This turn goes to our factory. The pirate might be looking for booty, but he's going to get full metal Robot Overlords instead. On top, we have a land and a virtue. We currently are at 4 mana, but eventually we do want to get to 5. Let's keep both, and in that order. They play out an eagle that pumps their other men. The Azorius Flyers deck is really like another version of Angels. It's for the crowd that like getting in without being blocked. A flying chicken, even. I will warm up the fryer. Someone make some breading for me. It's decision time. We can play out a terror and start some drain action, but we won't be able to block. We can snipe one of their men, the eagle, and Momo are good choices, or we can Aetherize their team when they send it. We can only choose one. We don't have the mana for 2 of our options. Of all these, I think Aetherize has to be the way to go. We can fall too far behind, and they won't be able to replay everything after their attackers are bounced. They play out a Legacy, an enchantment that, you guessed it, gives their flying men a stat boost. But only the flying ones. To maximize damages, they use their map token. This leaves them with their pants down and completely tapped out. Our decision to Aetherize this turn has paid off big. Damages? I like taking 0. This time the decision is easy. A terror, and only a terror will do. The drain action will inflate our life total, plus our Robot Overlords will end up a good deal bigger than their flying men, even with all the stat boosting effects. Okay, my bro, your go. Play out some 1/1 men for me. We draw a Helm, and that makes our decision here easy. We'll snipe their Momo, then follow up with the Helm. The Helm's map tokens will also trigger the Terror, so we've double the fun as well as building up giant Robot Overlords. Incoming, bro. You might want to block. No, they just take the hit. The amount of pain we can bring down when we play out the second terror could be life-threatening. They play out an Aang. He's supposed to be a swift savior, but he's kind of slow to show up this time. They bounce a Robot Overlord, but we've got more coming. The assembly lines have only started to spit them out. We draw a land, which is perfect. Now we can play out the second terror and have mana to activate the Helm. But we have enough just with the terror drain action to get them to 0. They really should have blocked last time. That's GG's, extra cheese. This is Shadow Fail. No, wait, it's Shadow Gale. Sometimes you fail, and sometimes you blow. We get a mono blue shuffler special, but we won't get anywhere with this. Mull. Then we get a better looking shuffler special. I don't think we can improve it by going to 5. Let's give this a shot. All we need is one more land and we'll be in business. Robot Overlord making business. Keep. We'll ship the terror. We might end up needing the sweeper, and our other cards can be played out if we draw just one more land. Can you smell what they're cooking? Probably tapeworms and cubs. We draw a third land, and now we'll be able to make plays on our next turn. Oh hey, there's a cub right now. Put on some gloves, we're gonna want to spank this mole. We draw a fourth land, and now I wish we'd kept the terror. We've the power of a board wipe, and all we need is another land. But for now, let's play out the factory. There's 2 lands on top. We'll keep one but ship the Uthros. I don't believe we'll have the time to be stationing men. They play out a creeper, it's going to end up being just another victim. They follow up with a Zimone. Here she comes now, Zimone Moni. The more men they have, the more the damages will be. We'll play out the Helm this turn. It'll give us a Robot Overlord, which might slow down some of their men, and we can get some map tokens to clear out lands off the top. They play out a Sad Sunin, an indestructible, but it's a card we can block forever. And they follow up with a Pollinator. That's almost their whole hand sitting there on board, and all but one of them will die on our turn. It's time for someone to take 7 damages. We're not going to name names. Sure, we take out our own Robot Overlord, but we have more of those on the way. That hit takes us down to 5. We can't take another hit, and we don't plan to. We draw an Aetherize, which is a solid card to have against their indestructible Sad Sunin. But first, we're going to drop in our second Helm. The making of map tokens will begin in earnest. They drop in a Burk, it'll give their men some pump, and Sad Sunin will be able to swing in yet again. Luckily, we have the mana to make a copy of our first Robot Overlord. Because Sad Sunin does have trample. They send it, as we thought they might. The factory pumps out an emergency Robot Overlord. Even half-baked, they are as powerful as the fully baked versions. Damages will take 0. I always like taking 0. We draw a Terror, and as it turns out, we have the mana to play it out and activate a Helm. It's almost like it was meant to be. Let's get in there and terrorize their men. Then we'll send it. Thanks to the size of our Robot Overlords, they have to block. They do not have a choice. Suddenly their life is in danger. Going down to 2 life with a Terror on board is bad news for them. You have to know they added white to their mana base just for Sheltered by Ghosts, the most useless card seeing play in the current standard, and they brought it in. They use it to snag our Terror. That will save them until we attack. They still need a pile of blockers. They play out a collector's cage, and that will let their sad Sunan swing in. Tapping down your only blocker is a bad idea right now. They poop it and scoop it. That's GG's, extra cheese. This is Osama, you suck. Hate gets you nowhere, bro. Be kind. Rewind. We get a 4-lander this time and we're on the draw. We do have a copy of our key card, as well as Repurposing Bay that we can use to trigger the factory, or can get us a second synthesizer if we draw into a 2-mana artifact. Keep your hopes up. We draw a relic, which will be our second turn play. That's a second factory outlet that arrived for us. The opponent will be able to pay lower prices, and we can hold buy one, get one free sales all weekend long. Put your order in today. I almost spit out rum all over my laptop when we drew that terror. I mean, it's already GG's. We should just skip to the next game. The opponent is already down to 3 cards in hand. Surely that's how you win games, right? You dump your hand. 3 mana, and it is time for a synthesizer. The factory will be put on auto, so we'll make Robot Overlords 24/7. On top, we have a land and an Aetherize. We've already got 5 mana, so we'll send the land on down. An Aetherize provides us a nice warm blanket filled with explosives, so the opponent thinks they are safe, but we've got the trigger to set it off. They play out a frigate. It's like a merfolk deck filled with cards that work together. Meanwhile, we've brought nothing but brute force to this engagement. I like going with a terror here, and that's exactly what we'll do. If some merfolk end up going under the wheels, I'm okay with that. They play out the new merfolk lord. Our lord is more Robot Overlords. They are each other's lords. Good lord. They work on making a pile of token men. That will get their frigate fully unlocked. I mean, that's a whole 3 damage there. I don't know if I should tremble in my boots or giggle. We get to 5 mana and we'll throw down the bay. We can turn our relic into one of our 3 mana artifacts. Another factory would be great, but what's missing is a helm. Let's grab one, and our Robot Overlords will get huge that much faster and the drain will be improved. They throw down a Sig Hansen. He's on vacation and pops up in a game of MTG. They give their frigate the ability to draw a card when it lands a hit. That's good because they're already down to 1 card. They go about making more tokens. I would have told them not to worry about that because we have an Aetherize, but we also have a Wrath in the deck, and that could get them killed for all their token making. Maybe it's me, but doing only 3 damage when we have this board is not going to get the job done. The time has come to clear out one of their men. I don't think it matters who goes down a hole. It has to be something we can target, though. They send in the frigate, but that's all that comes in. They hit us for 3, and we'll gain 2 when we copy a Robot Overlord. I'd like to land the Crown, but I want to try to leave mana up for an Aetherize from here until Underverse come. Instead of the Crown, we'll drop in the second factory. We'll slash prices even further. Even merfolk players will be able to afford a robot or two. On top we have a land and a second terror. We'll ship the land. A second terror is going to be bad news for our Undersea opponent. We'll send it. We'll either make some trades or we'll run over some fish folk. They don't have the option to let one through. All of our men must be blocked. They keep flipping Sig like a pancake. He's cooked, bro. They play out another merfolk lord. They might be realizing that they need to boost production of their token men. Everyone that can go is being sent. This is what we were waiting for. Let's hit them with our first Aetherize. Should have kept the pants on, bro. They check out their hand and they've got a negate to stop our plans for world domination. Now it's our turn to block up. We have to stop some of the damages that are coming in. They've got 5 blockers and we've got 5 Robot Overlords. It's like it was meant to be. Let's boil their merfolk and send it. Someone in the back is yelling for tartar sauce. We got you, bro. They go down to just 4 men now. They'll have to think about this one. Sig Hansen rolls in his grave yet again. We're either going to be having fish sticks for dinner, or we'll be rolling in Davy Jones' locker. They send it and we'll see if they can counter a second time. Surprise! No counter this time, and all that's left is a single blocker. Very nice, bro. They replay their frigate, but that's not going to be able to block. Oopsie poopsie, bro. You need to be playing out road bumps. They tap one of their blockers so their token can get the benefit of the pump. Wow, that's an amazing play, bro. Very nice. On the shark side, even the tough guys tumble. That's going to be GG's, we're having fried fish for dinner, GG's, extra cheese, and that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.